Mga ka-BBM, ibinunyag ni retired PNP General at ngayon ay Congressman na Bonifacio Bosita ang kota-kota system ng mga kapulisan kung saan ay nagkakaroon ng mga paglabag sa hanay ng mga tiwaling pulisa. Dahil dito inatasan ni Bosita itong si DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla na imbestigahan at tuluyan ng tuldukan ito dahil apektado na ang mga kawawa nating mga kababayan.
Gusto ko pong banggitin kay Honorable Secretary Remulla na kapag ikaw for the 1-year period ay malaking accomplishment mo sa illegal drugs, sa iba't ibang kaso, murder, rape, and everything, ang dami mong accomplishment, you will be considered as best unit. So, ang nangyayari po, pataasan ng accomplishments. Kaya po nangyayari ito. Dahil kaugalian po ng mga uniform personnel, pagalingan, pasikatan, ang nasasacrifice po, maliliit nating mga kababayan.
Samantala, ginisa rin sa Kamara itong si BUCOR Chief General Gregorio Catapang Jr. para tuluyan ng sibakin sa pwesto at huwag nang pabalikin itong kanyang assistant na si Angelina Bautista kung saan ay tinawag pa nila itong Dragon Lady. Sabi ng mga congressman, handa silang mag-approve sa hiling na budget ng DOJ at BUCOR pero dapat siguruhin nilang walang magiging korupsyon sa mga nabanggit na ahensya.
Our BUCOR Chief, General Catapang, the Dragon Lady of BUCOR has already resigned. That I would like to commend General Catapang on that. And I am now calling her a Dragon Lady. I hope that she will not come back anymore because previously she has resigned and was able to come back.
If she applies again, I will turn down his or her application, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Mr.
Ano
Chair.
ang masasabi mo dito mga ka-BBM? Magagampan pa kaya ng tama ni Remulla at Catapang ang kanilang mga tungkulin sa kani-kanilang mga posisyon sa pamahalaan? Sama-sama nating panuorin ang buong video at pakicomment nyo po ang inyong mga reaksyon at sariling opinyon. Pero bago yan, muli po ako nag-iimbita sa mga hindi pa po nakasubscribe sa ating channel na BBM News PH, pakipindot po ang subscribe button at pakiclick na rin ang notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga bagong upload natin na legit at napapanahong balita. Maraming pong salamat.
Gusto ko pong banggitin kay Honorable Secretary Remulla na though in-acknowledge po ng PNP yung kota-kota and accordingly, may instruction na po ang Chief PNP, even the DILG, na tigilan na yung kota-kota. Pero gusto ko po samantalahin na nasa position si DOJ Secretary na ako po ay 100% naniniwala ako dito na habang hindi nababago ng PNP yung parameters doon sa tinatawag na best police officers, best police units, ano po yun? Para po mas madali nating maintindihan, ang best officers and best units sa PNP ay itinuturing nila na ganito. Kapag ikaw, for the 1-year period, ay malaking accomplishment mo sa illegal drugs, sa iba't ibang kaso, murder, rape, and everything, ang dami mong accomplishment, you will be considered as best unit. Pagka maliit ang accomplishment mo, hindi ka ma-consider as best unit.
Kindly shoot your last question, please.
Yes, sir. So, ang nangyayari po, pataasan ng accomplishments. Kaya po nangyayari ito na katulad po ng Tagaytay City, isa yan sa peaceful area. Hindi po magbe-best unit yan. Sino ang best unit? Yung madaming accomplishment, yung mataas yung crime rate. So baliktad na po. Dapat sana, Honorable Secretary Remulla, sir, ang maging best units, yung peaceful yung area niya. Hindi yung area na napakataas ng crime rates.
Okay, please
Kung hindi
respond.
po ma-address yan, naniniwala po ako kung hindi babaguhin yung parameters na yan dahil kaugalian po ng mga uniform personnel, pagalingan, pasikatan, ang nasasacrifice po, maliliit nating mga kababayan. Again, Honorable Secretary Remulla, sir, hanggat hindi na bago yung parameters ng PNP, yung kota-kota system po, hindi ma-address talaga yan. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ang mga tanong ko po, Mr. Chair, would be more on the Bureau of Corrections, no? Because in our Committee on Public Order and Safety, marami na po kaming naitanong. And I'm so glad, Mr. Chair, as I was talking with our BUCOR Chief, General Katapang, that the Dragon Lady of BUCOR has already resigned. That I would like to commend General Katapang on that. And I am now calling her a Dragon Lady. I hope that she will not come back anymore because previously she has resigned and was able to come back. You know, well, I would like to ask our chief of the BUCOR if there's no way for her to be able to come back to BUCOR again, Mr. Chair.
Please, Bucor.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, he has filed her irrevocable resignation. In as much as this is a black and white letter, if she applies again, I will turn down his or her application, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, would BUCOR continue to investigate on the Dragon Lady so that proper charges can be filed if ever, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, the investigation is ongoing in as much as we are submitting to you periodic reports every week of what is happening in BUCOR, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, hindi ko na po itatanong pa yung ibang tanong ko because I was just talking to him. And the only thing that I asked from him bilang isang bishop ng Christian denomination, that BUCOR needs spiritual rehabilitation. Not only, Mr. Chair, on the PDL, but the men and women under his command, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po ang request ko sa kanya, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, that was my first marching order to all the PDL and now BUCOR employees. You have to have your God, whether it's Allah or you're a Christian or a Catholic, in as much as BUCOR is under threat from bad evils. No? We need the spiritual enlightenment in as much you know what I'm taking care of are criminals. They have to look back and find their God.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd like also to ask him a question that I asked during a committee hearing, because I do believe that, Mr. Chair, the chief of BUCOR has a lot of problems to solve, you know? And one of the problems that he must solve is the corruption in the BUCOR. So I just would like to ask, and I would like this to be put on record, Mr. Chair, is there massive corruption in BUCOR right now?
Mr. Chair, there's some minimum form of corruption among and between PDL and the BUCOR employees. In as much as these things happen, these two things happen at the same time, there should be a corruptor and the corrupted. But after thinking so much of what are the steps I will have to take, next month I will issue or there's an order that BUCOR will now be a cashless zone. All people who have money inside the jail will be confiscated, including the PDLs and the employees.
All right. Mr. Chair, during the investigation that we conducted with the Committee on Public Safety and Order, it was revealed, Mr. Chair, that they were able to get in billiard tables, mahjong tables, and other things inside the kubols. I'd like to find out, Mr. Chair, from our chief, good chief, if all of these things have been taken out.
Yes, Mr. Chair, they are already dismantled.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Lastly, a joint venture between BUCOR and a private company happened in 2021 during the administration of General Bantag. The agreement is that they will donate a property of around 300 hectares in Nueva Ecija. They will also build a prison infrastructure at no cost to the government. But they will also build, kasi transfer, no? A housing infrastructure, residential, development, commercial at the NBP, Mr. Chair. 35% will go to the private company and 65% will go to the government. I'd like to ask our good secretary, Mr. Chair, if DOJ actually know about this.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We found out about this even prior to my assumption to office. This was an activity that was supposed to have a groundbreaking activity with President Duterte as the guest of honor. And the PMS rejected this activity because this had no permission from the president, even the agreement itself. I think Secretary Guevara is very much aware. Solicitor General Guevara was there during that time. So, we look at that agreement as a void agreement, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, do you believe this to be legal and
No,
valid,
no, Mr. Chair. It's not legal, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. According to my source, I am holding the document between the joint venture agreement of the Bureau of Correction, a government agency under the Department of Justice, herein represented by its Director General Yusek Gerald Q. Bantag, and the Agua Tierra Oro Mina Development Corporation, or ATOM, a domestic corporation duly organized and existing under the laws of the Philippines. So therefore, Mr. Chair, as our good secretary says that it is not legal and valid, I'd like to find out, Mr. Chair, what would be the Department of Justice do about this agreement, Mr. Chair?
The agreement, Mr. Chairman, is unenforceable. They cannot enforce that agreement because it is a void ab initio. It's ultra vires, Mr. Chairman, signed beyond the scope of his powers as Director General of the BUCOR.
It means, Mr. Chair, this is not actually enforced, nor even implemented.
It cannot be enforced, Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you very much for this time. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your answers. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the time you've given to me. Salamat po.
On to my next question. Noong 2004 po, napasama sa GAA for that year ang paggawa ng Building 11A ng Bilibid Maximum Security Area. Dito po sa Building 11A, sino po yung mga nakabinbin na PDLs dito? At kailan po ito last na ni-repair yung area na ito?
If I'm not mistaken, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, that's the building for Iwahig, or is that in BUCOR? Yeah, inside BUCOR, ma'am.
Yes, kailan po last na na-repair ito?
Matagal na po, ma'am, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Yeah, in as much as may funding kami ang about 1 billion, pero outside BUCOR po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, tanong po, wala bang plano ang BUCOR ngayon na ayusin ito since may mga PDLs tayo na narito and mostly po for your information, mga political prisoners po ang narito. And meron po ba sa ngayon?
Pwede po, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, yung mga minor repairs. Kasi kung makita nyo po sa bisita ng mga congressman natin tsaka senators, imbis na isang floor lang po yan, in-extend hanggang 3 mesa, 3 layers. Dahil wala talaga pong space. Ang pinakamaganda po talaga is ilabas na sila sa Metro Manila so that we can put up a better place for them. Mr. Chair, Your Honor.